Stanley, Scuba, Sailing, and Adventures.
I appreciate you being here with me to log an entry in the travel journal. If this is your first time, please hit that subscribe button. Today we'll be scuba diving the hole in the wall in the Bahamas Exuma Islands. This is the hole in the wall dive site, and as you might have guessed, there's a hole in the wall, or a swim through. This is a follow the leader dive, and as you've heard me say before, I'm not a huge fan of the follow the leader dives because I'm usually not first. I swim kind of slow with my camera rig, and usually by the time I get through one of these, it's quite silted up. Nevertheless, I was determined to make this one. I was told that this swim through was quite wide, in fact, absolutely wide enough for my camera rig. So here we are queuing up to go through the hole in the wall. As you can see, I have quite a few divers in front of me, and divers continuing to drop in front of me as we queue up for the hole in the wall. Watch those fins. I don't ever critique other divers. I know I'm not perfect and I make a lot of mistakes, and as soon as I start critiquing other divers, I'll probably do something really stupid, which occasionally I do really stupid things. That being said, I like to think that my buoyancy and trim are okay. I wouldn't rate them as great, but I really would like to think they're okay. I had a great instructor for my peak performance buoyancy class way back when, and he was a cave diver, and he really hammered on me frog kicking, and I do kind of a modified frog kick. I don't use split fins, but I use the Scuba Pro fins that have the flexible tip, and that's easy enough on my knees, and I can do a modified frog kick in those, and I think it works out pretty well. This is really a cool swim through. It would have been ideal to be the first person through, but you know what? It's still really, really cool. Anyway, I was carrying on about frog kicking and my modified frog kick. I wish there was some video of it. Sometime I'll have to maybe ask somebody to shoot some video of it, but then I'm sure if I do, I'll look really bad and do some stupid things. But the other thing I did learn was fin pivot, and I use that all the time, especially when I'm shooting video and taking photographs of sharks. That fin pivot has been one of the best things I ever learned. This wall is pretty impressive. You can see here the scale, and I'll pan around in a minute and we'll get some divers in the view so you can really see the scale of this thing compared to the size of the divers. Yellow Tank, that's one of our dive guides, dive leader. I don't know exactly how they like to be described. These are unsupervised dives, that's for certain. At least that's the way it's communicated, so they're really just there to point things out. This is day 2, dive 7 overall, on this liveaboard dive trip, leaving from Nassau, Bahamas, cruising through the Exumas, Eleuthera, and returning to Nassau. The dive started at about 2:45 in the afternoon and lasted just about 50 minutes. I recorded an average depth of 50 feet and a maximum depth of 94 feet. I'm not sure where I hit 94 feet, so I did go back and look at my depth profile, and I'm assuming that I must have hit 94 feet when I came out of the swim through. Looking at the dive profile, it was fairly early on in the dive, so that's what I'm assuming. I don't recall now, but that makes probably the most sense. In terms of water temperature, my dive computer reported an average water temperature of 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So a lot of nice barrel sponges on this dive site. And these blue fish that we see schooling, I believe, are Creole wrasse. There's a nice sized grouper in this hole, but I can't really get a better angle or a better shot. It's winter in the Bahamas and the trip is shaping up. The weather's been okay so far, definitely not the best, and the visibility's been okay, but not the best considering the Bahamas. Water visibility is usually incredible, but to be expected, right, with the time of year that I selected, and the trip kind of came together at the last minute. But the crew and the service and the food on the trip has been incredible. Here we have a queen angelfish that ducked under a rock. I'm not sure we're going to see that one again. Hopefully you saw it. Back to the crew and the food. Just incredible. I've met so many wonderful people on these liveaboard trips. The crew are usually just fantastic people, and if you chat with them a little bit and get to know them, I would think you'd have to have a passion for what you're doing to work on one of these liveaboard boats. Here we have another grouper. You see that he has his mouth kind of open. That usually means they're getting cleaned. They have some little cleaner fish swimming in and out of their mouth. Try to get a better angle to get a couple pictures. That's a decent sized grouper. Underwater photography of fish is definitely challenging, and I don't know how else to describe it, but you're always kind of waiting for that perfect picture, right? And the lighting's got to be right, the fish has got to be at the right angle, and you've got to have the settings adjusted quickly enough I've gotten a couple what I think are pretty good pictures, but always looking for that next great picture. And it's fun. It's not like it's a stressful thing or have to do it thing for me. I mean, it's not my full-time employment gig. This, I don't know what this is. I need to look this up. And if you know what it is, let me know. I'm assuming something laid eggs in there or something. I don't know. What is that? Drop me a comment if you know what that was. Lots of fish here, lots going on this reef, and a lot of ground to cover. I'm not necessarily as close as I usually would be, so the light's not reaching everything as much, and I'm not getting as many close-ups of the fish. But there's so much to see, and it's very rugged. Like, if you look at this bottom, it's difficult to scoot real close to it with the camera for a long period of time, where in other places where it's not quite as rough, that's the best word I can think of right now, I can get the camera in close and I can move, parallel to the bottom. But here, because it's so jagged, it's difficult with all the up and down, and I don't want to risk bumping the camera into the coral or anything that could be damaged. But there is just a tremendous amount of life on this reef. And if you can see here, you kind of get a view. Like, you can really see the difference in, I guess, elevation. I don't know if that's the proper word for underwater. But you see what I mean. Like, that really dives down on the other side of this. There's a French angelfish, and there's a parrotfish. Yeah, just a lot going on here. And I've identified these fish so many times in different videos. I don't know. Do you still want me to call them all out? Leave me a comment, let me know. Happy to do that if you think that's worthwhile. Here we have a couple of queen angelfish and a fairly large lionfish. It seems like I always see the angelfish in pairs of two. There are a lot of fish. There are a lot of different species that I seem to see in pairs of two. I don't know if that's always male and female or not. Oh, there we have parrotfish, stoplight parrotfish swimming by, and there's that large lionfish. That's a pretty big one. And we have that queen angelfish with the blue crown and the yellow tail in the background. try to get a little closer to these queen angelfish. And look at that wonderful brain coral. I remember as a very young person being in the Bahamas for the first time and snorkeling and seeing brain coral. Just thinking, oh wow, that is the coolest thing that I ever saw. Love brain coral.
Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.